So in Google Classroom, you should be in Earsketch assignment number 1, and the video that I'm making right now will show up here. It's not there now because I haven't finished making the video. Anyway, when you come back to get started on this assignment, the first thing you want to do is click on the link that I have here with the assignment. So when you click on that link, the page should open up for you that looks like this. Now, this next step is really important. Once you open this up, over here on the right, you're going to see this box that says Import to Edit. Before you can make any changes to this, you have to click on the box Import to Edit. Now, when that happens, another box is going to pop up, and this is where you put your name. So in this box, put your last name, your first name, ES1, Earsketch 1 is the assignment, and click Rename. Okay. So the only difference now is that that button, Import to Edit, is now gone. So if you look here on line 6, 7, and 8, here are the overall instructions. You're going to create a short song in Earsketch that has 2 different phrases. And a phrase is like a group of bars that is sort of like a sentence in English. So a musical phrase is sort of like a sentence. And so your phrases are going to be 4 bars, and they're going to alternate every 4 bars. So the 2 phrases should each have a vocal track, a synth track, a bass track, and a drum track. And in total, the song should be 16 bars long. So let's get started. The first thing you need to do is click on line 9 and then hit return, which should give you a line 10. You're going to start off by typing the command fit media. Now, when you type that, you'll see this blue thing down below, and it actually will autofill some things for you, but it shows you after fit media the arguments or the other pieces of data that the computer needs to follow this instruction. So you could just click here, and it's going to autofill sound, track, start, end. So take a moment, pause the video, and complete this step. So the next thing we want to do is we want to find a sound that we're going to use. And again, remember, we need a vocal track, synth, bass, and drum. So we're going to start with vocal. So to do that, come click on Instruments, and then click on Vocals. Once you do that, you can also filter by genre, or you can filter by artist to get the vocals that you want to use. Let's try, let me see. And actually what I'm looking for is to find some vocals that have like a verse and a chorus. Will work pretty nice. So let's see, verse 1. So this one has what you can see, it says verse and chorus. I'll listen to them.
Storms are raging, landscapes changing, destruction I am shown. So many tears burden my fears.
Now, after I listen to a few of the tracks, if I find one that I want to use, I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to double click on sound so that sound is highlighted. Then I'm going to come back to the loop library, and on the verse that I want to use, I'm going to click on this blue clipboard. When I click, you can see the name of that audio file shows up inside parentheses. And this is actually what we call a constant. Constants is information that a computer stores that never changes. So this T-Flames, Omen, Vox, backup, verse 1, that is a constant. That is a file that's in Earsketch that never changes. Now, I still need to add these next 3 pieces of information. The next thing, track, double click, and I'm going to put this on track 1, and then double click on start, because we want to start at bar 1, and then end. So remember, we want to alternate every 4 bars. So if we start at bar 1 and we want it to last for 4 bars, that means we're going to end it actually at bar 5. So it plays bar 1, plays bar 2, plays bar 3, plays bar 4, and then when it gets to 5, it stops. So pause the video and get this first command entered for your vocal track. Next, I'm going to go to the end of the line 10 and hit return. Line 11. Again, I'm going to type fit media, and I'm going to click. Sound is already highlighted. So next, I want to have a synth track. So I'm going to go back to my instruments. I'm going to click off of vocals, and I'm going to click on synth. There's not a lot to choose from, but I will listen. Okay, we'll go with that. And I'm going to click on the blue clipboard. So there it is. Now I'm going to double click on track. Now I don't want the synth track to be on the same place as the vocal. So I'm going to put this on track 2. I'm going to start it at bar 1, just like the vocal, and I'm going to end it at bar 5. And again, I'm just double clicking on each of those words to highlight it, and then I just type the data. Pause the video to complete this step. Next, at the end of line 11, I'm going to hit return to get line 12. Again, fit media. I'm going to click on this to autofill. Now I want a bass track. So I'm going to click off of synths. I'm going to go to bass. And I can listen to the different basses. But because these all say VRS1, verse 1, they should work pretty well together. So I'm going to stick with that. So click on the blue clipboard. Then I double click on track. This is going to go on track 3. Double click on start. This is going to, oops. It's going to go bar 1. By the way, if you ever mistype something and you want to undo what you just did, hold the command key down, which is right next to the space bar, and type the letter Z. Command Z will undo that. And then double click on end and put a 5. Again, I go to the end of line 12, I hit return. And again, anytime you need to, pause the video and complete the step. So 13, I'm going to go fit media. Oops, I misspelled that. So now I want a drum track. So I'm going to click off of bass. I'm going to click on drums. And I still have my artist selected here. So let's see. So that's just the kick. You can see it says kick. And I'd like to have more than that, but let's see. It's open hi-hat, OH. Okay, so this one's a little tricky because I'm going to have to actually add each of the drum part sounds. If you're doing a song where you go to drums and you see anything that says full at the end, instead of it saying like snare or kick, if you find full, that's going to have all the parts. And that might probably save you some time. But in this case, I'm going to do a kick. And I'm going to click on the blue clipboard. Put this kick on 4, track 4. Start at bar 1, end at bar 5. And because I've got to add the other instruments, I've got to add another fit media. So for this, I want to find the snare verse 1. There's snare verse 1. And then track is going to be track 5. Start at 1, end at 5. And then I'm going to do another fit media. This sound, I'm going to do the it's the kick. We'll do the open hat here. Put this on track 6. Start at bar 1, end at bar 5. Now, as I go through this process, these are just the tracks that I chose. I want you to actually listen to some of the different loops you have to choose from. You can choose any artist you want or any genre. I don't expect you to use the same tracks that I used. The only thing is that you have to have a vocal track. It's got to have a synth track, a bass track, and a drum track. But the loops you choose are up to you. So after I do this, I'm going to click run to see if it works. And I can see there it is. I can listen to it, see what it sounds like all together.
Storms are raging, landscapes changing, destruction I am shown.
All right, that works. kind of an alt rock sound, but we'll go with it. Okay, so this is our first 4 bars. Now we're going to do 2 different phrases. So basically the next step is I'm going to go to the end of line 15. I'm going to hit return twice because I want to leave an open space. And now I'm actually going to take my mouse. I'm going to click here at the end of line 15. Click, drag, because I'm going to select all those lines. Then next to my space bar, I'm going to hold down the command key, command, and then type the letter C for copy. Then if I come down to line 17, I'm going to hold the command key and type the letter V, and it's going to paste all of this down here for my second phrase. Now, for the second phrase, I want to change all of these tracks. So for the vocal track, I'm going to double click to highlight the vocal. But now I'm going to come over and go back to the vocal tab. So I used this Vox verse 1 here. So for this, I think I'm going to use one of these chorus. It's abbreviated CHOR.
Take the time to know me.
Take the time to know me.
I think I'll go with this one. So I just click the blue clipboard and it replaces it with the new loop. Now, I'm going to keep this on track 1, but I need to change the start and the end bars. So since the previous phrase stopped at line 5, this one is going to start at line 5. And then if I want this to play for 4 bars, I just need to add 4 to 5. 5 plus 4 is 9. So it's going to stop at 9. Now I'm going to come to the synth. Click off of vocals, click on synth. And again, I double click to highlight this. And I'm going to choose one of these. I think I'll go with 1. Click on the blue clipboard. That'll change this. Now again, this is going to go on track 2, but I'm going to start at 5, end at 9. Next is the bass. So I'm going to come to line 19 and double click. I'm going to click off of synth. I'm going to choose bass. And I'm going to use the bass for chorus 1. It works. Blue clipboard. And then this is be track 3. Start at bar 5. End at bar 9. Now, line 20. I need to go back to my drums. So again, if you find a drum loop that has all of the parts on one loop, then this may be all you need. It's just one line for your drums. For this particular song, all of the instruments are separated, the snare, the kick, and the hi-hat. So I'm going to have to do each one separately. So the kick first. So I use verse 1. So now that we're in the chorus, let me use chorus 1. Track 4, start at 5, end at 9. Then I'm going to double click on the snare, and I'm going to find the snare chorus. There it is, blue clipboard. And I change this, start at 5, end at 9. And then I'm going to double click on my open hi-hat. That's what 08 stands for, open hi-hat. So my open hat for chorus 1, blue clipboard. And then I change this to 5 and 9. Now pause the video if you need to complete. Make sure you have this block set up. Then click run. And you should now see I have 8 bars total, and it's going to sound like this.
Storms are raging, landscapes changing, destruction I am shown. Take the time to know me. Take the time to know me.
All right, that works. Now, again, if you look at the instructions, it says the song should be 16 bars long. So right now we only have 8 bars. And the phrases are going to alternate every 4. So if I had verse 1 here, 4 bars, and then I had the chorus. So now I want to have this verse 1 repeat. So what I'm going to do is come back up here, click at the end of line 15, and then I'm going to click and drag to highlight lines 10 through 15. Next, I hold the Command key down next to my space bar and type the letter C, Command C. Next, I'm going to come to the end of line 22, hit return 2 times, and then Command V to paste. So here's my first block again. But what I need to change is if the chorus played from bar 5 and it stopped at bar 9, then here I want this to start at bar 9. And again, if I want to go 4 bars, just add 4 to 9. 9 plus 4 is 13, so it stops at 13. And then I'm going to change this for each one of these lines. Start at 9, end at 13. Okay, and then when I think I'm done, I'm going to click Run. Now, down here in this little corner of the doll, you see the plus and minus. Those are your zoom controls. So I can zoom out, and I can also use a vertical zoom. So notice when I come back, if I look at this, I'm missing this open hi-hat loop for some reason. But if I look carefully down here at the bottom, oops, I see that I'm getting a message. The problem is on line 29. My open hi-hat on line 29 has been removed because of the overlap on track 6 at measure 1. So that tells me there's something wrong with line 29. And if I look at this, I can see, oh, I forgot to change the start bar and the end bar. That's why it was overlapping. So now I'm going to run it again, and now it works. So now if you look at the timeline, we're up to 13 bars. We got to get to 16. So now I want to bring the second block, my chorus, back. So if I go to line 22 and click, and then I'm going to click and drag, Command C to copy that, and then I'm going to go down to line 29. I'm going to hit return 2 times, and then Command V to paste. So if my line, the last verse ended at 13, then down here I want to start at 13. To go 4 bars, I just add 4 to 13. 4 plus 13 is 17. So I'm going to change all these to 13 and 17. 13, 17, 13, 17. Now I want to make sure I don't forget this time. 13, 17. And now I'm going to hit run. Again, if I want to zoom out, now I can see I have 16 bars total. And if I listen to it, there's 4 bar phrases that alternate every 4 bars.
Storms are raging, landscapes changing, destruction I am shown. Take the time to know me. Take the time to know me. Storms are raging.
Now it goes back to the verse.
Destruction I am shown. Take the time to know me. Take the time to know me.
And it ends. So if you have successfully gotten this to work, you can now call yourself a programmer. You've programmed your first song in Earsketch. Again, at any time, if you miss some instructions, you can go back in the video and watch it again. If you click run and you get an error, like a red error message shows up. For example, if I come up to line 24 and I try to run, I can see that there's an error, and it tells me down here there's an error with a variable or function that's not defined, fit media. So what it's telling me is that it doesn't understand what to do with fit media, and the reason why is because I did not capitalize that M. So that was my bug. So if I correct it and run it, Now it runs. Okay, so if you get any errors, you just have to go back and wherever the error shows up, read at the bottom what it tells you the problem is. So for example, line 32, there's an error with the function name. This is what it doesn't understand, fit media, on line 32. So I go to line 32. Oh, I forgot an E. So you find all those little bugs and you work them out until it runs. Now, the last thing you have to do is submit this assignment. And the way you submit this assignment is different than how we do it for Soundtrap. And I'm actually going to make a separate video that shows you how to submit the assignment. So finish this first, make sure it all works, then go back to Google Classroom and you should find a video explaining how to submit your assignment.